I'm making an animated short film all by myself. It doesn't matter if my skills are not quite there, or if I don't have the best equipment to make it. I'm just making it. In this video, I'm working on the planning for the animation. By the way, I also want to watch 3D animated movies that came out in the past 3 years while I'm doing this. The goal is to see what I can learn from them, but I also want to rank them from the one I've enjoyed the most to the one I've enjoyed the least. The film will be made in 3D like all my art, but I usually make sketches in 2D first to throw the idea on paper. I first used to think what I was doing was storyboarding, but this is actually thumbnailing. I'm sketching how each shot will look instead of making minimum animations to show how the character will move within each shot, to which the second one is basically what storyboarding is. Thumbnailing also helps me know how many shots I'll have in the final animation. I always make a few changes in the final product, whether that's adding more shots or removing some of the shots that don't work well in 3D. But it's always good to plan ahead and have a clear picture of what you want before the heavy work starts. While I'm doing this, I'm thinking about how I want to interpret each line of the script visually, from the camera angle I want to what I'm including on the screen to convey the story the best way possible. I'm not thinking about every movement I want the character to make within that shot. I'll focus on that when I shoot the reference videos. I'm thinking about summarizing all those ideas of the movements I want from the character into a single pose. Some of these shots I saw from my favorite films, and some are just shots from movies I haven't watched personally, but because they are iconic, I've seen them posted on the internet. I'm just remaking them in my own way and using them as inspiration. There's also a website called iCandy. It's more so for effects, but I think it's cool to use it to gather some ideas too. I also came up with some shots by myself according to how I want to convey the story, so let me give myself a little bit of credit too. The Bad Guys is a really good movie. The characters' animations are exaggerated at times, making the film more playful, but it still feels a bit mature too. The story writing is really great. What I really love about the film is the textures and the light. The visuals are pretty good, and I like the sandy-like feeling or look it has to it. From the way buildings are textured, how the world is lit up, and how there's a balance of realistic and stylistic elements. By the way, I'm making these animations and videos simultaneously, so this movie is what inspired the short animation I made in 10 days last week. Feel free to go check out the video for that after this one. Now that I've made my sketches, I want to see if the camera angles I want will work in 3D. So I'm doing basic 3D modeling to build up the shots I've sketched into 3D scenes. I also want to do minimum animations without getting into detail. Not for all shots though, so this is still pretty much like thumbnailing. I'm using basic shapes to build up the scenes with basic 3D modeling. As you can see, the character is basically a 3D version of a stickman, and everything else is just blocky. The aspect ratio of the sketches was 16:9, which is basically the standard aspect ratio and the one you are watching this YouTube video in. But by the time I started working in 3D, I thought about changing it to 4:3. Still not fully decided on that yet, so I might change it. Let me know which one you think is cleaner in the comment section below. By the way, please leave a like if you're enjoying the video so far.
To stop and obey, to stop and obey. Now
I already wrote the story over a year ago, and I've been tweaking it ever since to make it make sense. I didn't know there are things to consider when writing stories, and that's what I love about this whole project. I get to learn more than I thought I knew, and as a guy who really loves challenging himself, I've been enjoying the journey. Without spoiling anything, this story is happening in a sci-fi world, but I really want to ground it. I'm planning on making a whole world and telling a bigger story, but I want to start small and focus on a small amount of characters at first. So the story is about a heartbreak, also leaning into the main character's world. That's all I can say for now without giving out too much. Okay, so we have 45 shots. Dang, I thought I was done for that.
spoken. Can anyone stand this nonsense? Eaten away, telling us to stop and obey, to stop and obey. When this goes wrong, do you know? Do you know what you wish for? Let me know.
a few minutes into watching Elemental, I felt like this is a movie I could watch with my girlfriend. I know I said the bad guys felt somewhat matured, but this is way more mature than that. First of all, the way they made the characters is really great. I still don't know how they did that. And the story itself is really relatable in some way. I love this one, I really do. Now this is where I can see the film, at least a scrappy version of it, the vision. But first, I have to make it. So I'm taking all the shots from the storyboard, recording the lines and sound effects to have a feeling of how the film will be. I feel like I haven't said this before, but I want to make at least 80 to 90% of the film on my own. This means I'm also writing and making the music for the film.
Who am I to all this mean streets, change? Time is running, I'm growing, the story by the way. This is why my head's so mad deep for you, like I want me a comeback.
I'm not just slapping the images on the timeline. I'm thinking about the timing of each shot, if it matches well, if the $0 budget song I've made playing in the background, and if the mood for each scene matches what I had in mind. If not, I'm rearranging the shots, adding more shots to the story, and writing notes on shots and plan on remaking different. I'm not going back to storyboarding though, since I now have a clear picture of the story I want to tell. I'm even playing multiple characters for the film at this point. You promised you'd bring me something today. Yes I did. But you didn't even greet me, Mus.
I had a feeling this would happen again. It's okay.
I don't plan on doing that in a final version though. I'm honestly disappointed. I see what they were going for with just focusing on Poe, but I really love the Furious 5. Come on, no Crane, no Tigress. At the end of the day, this is why I'm creating my own film. Not because I feel like I can do it better, but because it's easier to criticize someone's art without knowing how it feels to challenge yourself to create it. I still love the overall idea they had for the film and the animations/visuals. I just feel like it could have been executed in a better way. So here's how I rank the 3 movies I just watched. I didn't include Across the Spider-Verse since I saw it when it came out, and come on, we all know where it will be. We are done with the planning stage. Next, I'll be working on how I want to stylize the film.